Australian rules football? In the U.S.? That's right. The United States Australian Football League is in a city near you. Go to USAFL.com, find your team, check them out. We're a group full of men and women just like you. Join us for the fun athletic competition. Stay for the camaraderie.
We want the champion!
Log on and sign up to join your team at USAFL.com.
And good afternoon and welcome to Field 3 here at the Score Complex in Racine, Wisconsin for the 2018 United States Australian Football League National Championships. This is Women's Division 2, the Columbus Cats versus the Baltimore-Washington DC Eagles. Just to give an explanation about Women's Division 2, it's different from Division 1 where it's standalone sides. In Women's Division 2, there are 5 core teams, and they're topped up with players from other clubs who couldn't field their full 18 aside. For example, the Columbus Cats, they're the team that's on the left-hand side wearing the white jumper with the navy blue hoops. They are being topped up with players from the Chicago Swans and the Philadelphia Hawks. For the DC Eagles, the team there on the right-hand side, they're also wearing a white jumper with dark shorts. They'll have an eagle on the front of their jumper. They're being topped up today with players from the Boston Lady Demons and the Des Moines Roosters. Therefore, each side will have at least a minimum of 18 aside, plus interchange players. Normally in Aussie rules football, the standard would be to have 18 aside on the ground with an interchange of 4. In Women's Division 2, you could have anywhere from 14 aside to 18 aside on the park with a handful of players on the interchange. Those interchange players can come on and off the ground at any time, as long as there's the maximum agreed number on the ground. If that's 18, obviously you can't have 19 on the ground, otherwise you could risk having your score wiped out completely. So you've got to make sure you always have that maximum limit that's agreed to. The umpires are just having a chat in the middle, making sure that they're going over the rules and everything's okay. The level 1 umpires, of course, are wearing the green, and some of those learning umpires or volunteers from clubs that are helping out, they're going to be umpiring wearing the orange top as well. So it's great to see that they're helping out here at the USAFL Nationals. We're not too far away from play. We're playing straight 20-minute halves with no time on. The umpire just making sure that all is in readiness to begin this first half. Looks around, everyone's standing in position, holds the ball aloft. No hooter, so he might blow the whistle to get the time clock going. Everybody's ready. And this Saturday afternoon, 13th of October, 2018, we are underway in the first half of this match between the Columbus Cats and the Baltimore-Washington DC Eagles. It'll be Erica Sacchi, who normally plays for the Philadelphia Hawks, getting us underway, and she will kick towards the centre-half forward position. The Cats immediately on the back foot. They're trying to move the football out. I can see Diane Welch, they're normally a Boston player, fighting in hard for the Lady Eagles. The hurry kick around the corner. Lindsay Terse now going in there. Bronwyn Smith wanted to try and feed it out. Stablin was there as well. Here's the hurry kick. And McFarlane moving the football forward. And the ball is close towards the boundary line. Being held up there by Quinn. Hurry kick out. Players just weaving around in the contest here. And the umpire's going to blow the whistle shortly and call for a ball up. I think Lauren Kelly might be wearing that number 4. And McFarlane might be wearing 24 because I can tell by the brown shorts. If they're wearing brown shorts, as you can see the number 6 is closed, that means they're actually normally Philadelphia Hawks players. But they're today representing the Columbus Cats. The Hawks and the Cats actually have a very big rivalry back in Australia in the Australian Football League competition between Hawthorn and Geelong. In fact, on the women's side of things, they played in the VFL Women's Grand Final of 2018 just the last month when Hawthorn defeated Geelong in that one to take home the VFL Women's title. Mark paid there. I think it might be Smith there with a footy for the Cats. She's kicking towards the western end of the ground. That's left of screen. Goes towards the boundary line. Hurry kick around the corner. They try and square it up. Maybe an opportunity. Sacchi, copped a shirt front from the Baltimore player, and the umpire says that was a little too crude. So therefore, it is going to be a free kick going the way of Erica Sacchi. As we said, normally a Philadelphia Hawks player, playing for the Columbus Cats today. On the right boot, looks pretty good. I think that's a goal. It is. And that is the first goal for Columbus. They move to 1 straight 6. Baltimore-Washington DC Eagles yet to score here in the Women's Division 2 at Racine, Wisconsin. Philadelphia Hawks last year teamed up with the Portland Sockeyes, and that joint combination won the Women's Division 2 title in 2017. So about 2.5 minutes in, Erica Saki there with the first goal. The Columbus side are making their debut as the Cats. They were known last year as the Columbus Jillaroos in women's football and the Jackaroos in men's football, but the name change this year sees the club unite under the Cats brand as that hurry kick away by Kristen Lau moved it inside 50 for Baltimore. Good run there. Mariam Mata nearby. She'll be looking to get her hands on the footy a lot and create some opportunity for the Lady Eagles. Interesting to note that some of the clubs, like at Denver, they prefer to be known as Lady Bulldogs, whereas New York, for example, in Division 1, used to be known as Lady Magpies. Now the women's side prefer to be known as just the Magpies, like their men. That's obviously a preference of each and every club. As an opportunity for a hurry kick away for the Cats by McClintock, but she was caught, and the Eagles will send it back from whence it came. Offering an opportunity there was Ellison Monahan. She was against the boundary line. She wanted to see if she could get a kick around the corner, but the ball went over her head and over the boundary line and out of bounds. So the umpire will throw the ball back into play. That's what he does. Let's see if they can get a clear shot at goal here. It's in heavy traffic, and in the end it will be rushed through for just a minor score. So that is the Lady Eagles first. Baltimore-Washington DC 1 behind. Columbus 1 straight 6. Now, unlike soccer, where, for example, you have an own goal, the opposition rushes it back through their goal, it's counted as just the 1 point, not the 6 points. For it to be a goal, you have to kick it through your goals. And when I say kick it, it must be any part of the body from the knee downwards. It can hit your shin if it wants to. As long as you hit your shin or your foot and it goes through without being touched by anybody else, then that is the full 6 points. Otherwise, it's declared as rushed through and only worth the 1 point. So the ball in the middle of the ground. Trying to get it out there, terse. Taken away from her. Diane Welch fighting in hard. Saki comes in. She gets someone high on the way through, but eye contact on 24. And will be going the way of Baltimore-Washington DC with a dribble kick along the ground. Saki sat on it. Came out with a hurry kick for the Lady Eagles, intercepted by McClintock. Ball is Saki direction, fell over. Rice. Holly Rice, one of the 2 Des Moines Roosters players playing today for Baltimore-Washington. Ball is on the deck. Trying to fight in there is Alexandra Pike. Umpire calls for a ball up. Interesting to note that for the Lady Eagles being known as Baltimore-Washington DC, that's what their men used to be known as. The men split during the year to form 2 separate clubs. Now, it wasn't a bad split, a very amicable split, because they try to grow football in the region. So you now have the DC Eagles and the Baltimore Dockers, which is very ironic because there's a big rivalry back in Australia, in the state of Western Australia, between the 2 teams in that state, being the Dockers and the Eagles. And they purposely chose those names for the Baltimore Dockers and the DC Eagles. And the women's side of things, they're still known as Baltimore-Washington, but they hope to one day have enough numbers where they'll obviously split into Baltimore and DC as we grow the USAFL. As the kick is towards the centre forward position here for Columbus. They'll be intercepted and sent back. Mahoney trying to lay on a tackle. There's the kick away by the Eagles going up the line. Wait for it to be intercepted. Here's the kick on the right. Bit of a barrel going forward. Trying to get in there. Attempts to lay a tackle. The umpire, pardon me, that was Mahoney coming in there to lay a tackle. Split from Shearer. And the umpire says it was all trapped in there. We'll call for a ball up. So away we go again. Tapping it forward. Kamali can't get it out. Has to go in and try and lay a tackle. Does well. Now it's squeezed out. Mahoney kicks it inside 50. The hurry kick. Trying to run onto it there is Christina Glynn for the Eagles. Shearer kept the ball in front of herself. Did well. Hand passed in the air. Hit the deck. Now running for it with a hand pass backwards was Bronwyn Smith. But only for it to be intercepted by the Eagles in the last line of defence. 5-point lead here to Columbus over Baltimore-Washington. The kick well and truly wide. Might have in fact gone out of bounds on the full. And if it has, that means it'll be a free kick to Columbus. Of the ball near the cornfield. A beautiful rural scene here in the north of the country. We're down south for the last couple of tournaments. San Diego, California last year, 2017 Nationals, 2016 Nationals was held in Sarasota, Florida. Come to slightly cooler conditions here in Racine, Wisconsin. Some might even say true footy conditions. Some of the country areas of Victoria and the state of Tasmania in Australia. This would be your normal June, July weather. Freezing cold, long sleeve jumpers, and supporters gathered around a fire trying to keep warm while watching the footy. Ball thrown back in. Shearer had front position. Fight out the hand pass. Stablin chasing after the football there with McFarlane. Ball will go over and out. We'll call for a throw in. Boundary umpire to throw the ball back into play. As you can see, just in normal civilian clothes, that's the club volunteers that are helping out with the boundary umpiring today, because obviously we don't have enough umpires to do all positions. Normally you would have, in this type of football, 6 umpires. You have your 2 field umpires, 2 running the boundary, and 2 in the goal square. Shearer gets a free kick. And 5 field at once means you need 30 umpires, plus of course they need breaks, so you need a minimum of 16. We don't quite have those numbers yet in the USAFL, but if anyone wants to learn how to umpire, we'd certainly welcome them on board, because umpires are a very important part of us being able to have a game. As Quinn tried to get a hurry kick away, ricocheted off. And the ball went over the boundary line and out of bounds. So what happens in a national tournament for teams that aren't playing, because you usually have a couple of hours gap between matches, you're rostered on to offer up some volunteers to help do boundary umpiring or goal umpiring. As a hurried shot, a goal is away for a minor score. And that now moves the Columbus Cats on to 1-1-7. Baltimore-Washington just the one behind. Here's the kick. It's wide. Close to the boundary line. Umpires coming off with a free kick. We should mention, whenever a point's kicked and you, as the opposition, get to kick the ball from full back to play, if you kick it close to the boundary line and the ball goes out, even if it bounced, if it wasn't touched by anybody, that means it's out of bounds on the full and the opposition gets the free kick. As the umpire blows the whistle and says the ball up, or you'd use in basketball terminology a jump ball to try and reset the play. Bumped off the football there, McFarlane. Heavy traffic, Saki. Can't quite get it out. And the umpire will again call for another ball up. Great to see the growth continue here in the women's division at the USAFL Nationals. As we said, more players joining up at Chicago, more joining up at Boston, Columbus. We're seeing women signing up to play in Oklahoma, at Nashville as well, which is fantastic to see. Portland, for the first time, fielding their own standalone Division 1 team. The growth of numbers there has been excellent. And of course, if you want to join, go to USAFL.com. We take on everybody. Doesn't matter what your skill level is. Even if you've never seen a footy in your life, you're more than welcome to join. It's all about inclusiveness in the USAFL. As the umpire blown his whistle and signaled a free kick. And And let's see which way it's being awarded to. I think he might have been just pointing to the play because the normal signal in Aussie rules, I think he might have pointed the wrong way there as Baltimore have the free kick. The normal signal in Aussie rules is to point to the defensive side. So if you have a free kick, they point the defensive way, and that team will have the free kick. In fact, it was Columbus that did have it. So there was just a little bit of confusion there. The kick, long inside 50. Oh, great mark. Parked herself underneath. They had heaps of pressure because she had that player, Megan Hills, coming at it, but managed to stand tall. Bolski offered the shepherding work, but it's taken away there by Monahan. Meter had the football, delivered up the line towards an half forward. Good tackle laid on there by Stephanie McKittrick. Now the kick by the Eagles, though. Goes inside 50, trying to run onto the football there. Pody has a shot at goal. Oh, it's cruel. It's bouncing across the face. Now a little toe poke off the ground. Oh, just the one behind. A miss there by Katie Anderson. She'll be disappointed with that. Maybe a golden opportunity there for the Eagles. As the score now moves to 1-1-7 Columbus, 2 behinds. Baltimore-Washington. The kick back into play. Just weaving around, look to get a hand pass out. Great burst of speed. Now Saki is caught immediately. Worrell says you're going nowhere. That's a great tackle. Stop Saki right in her tracks. Samantha Worrell with a free kick for Baltimore-Washington. One of the smaller players in the field. And it's a great thing about Aussie rules. Regardless of your height or size, there's always a spot for you. And the tall rucks, the in and under small players, the bigger body players that crash the pack. Kristen Pody with a snap around the corner. Ball still manages to stay in play. Eagles fighting hard. Almost like a rugby maul there, being caught with it is Sobrel. Christina Sobrel. The umpire will ask for the football back to ball it up again. Throw it up in the air. Hurry, snap. I think that's a goal. I think that's a goal. It is. And Baltimore-Washington have hit the front on that goal. It was just about something out of nothing. And the Baltimore-Washington Lady Eagles at 1-2-8. The Columbus Cats 1-1-7. Here in Racine, Wisconsin at the Score Complex on Field 3. Just the sheer pressure of just trying to keep it forward, keep it forward, keep it forward. And then out of nothing, they squeeze that one through right on the goal line. They'll be annoyed with that one, the Cats, as they near half-time. Peter Holden with you on commentary this afternoon. Thanks very much for your company. Don't forget, you can watch more of our games by searching USAFL on YouTube, including many other tournaments called by many other commentators, so the likes of Brian Barish, also as well Gil Griffin, and don't forget Stateside Footy you can find online as well with Bill Robert for more of your Aussie rules action in the United States. Mark taken there by Danielle Kamoli. Decides to play on quickly on the right boot. Is that a mark taken? The umpire, yes, we'll call it that way. Taylor Duggan, normally of the Des Moines Roosters, playing today for the Lady Eagles. Her kick into heavy traffic. Just popped out. Now the right boot kick. Meter now goes for a run. Oop, shanked the kick at the last second. It's a bit of a dribbler going inside 50. Chases up her own kick. Gets a hurried hand pass away. Now squeezing it there. Alison Monahan did well. Was trying to get it to Katie Anderson. Trying to keep it in front of herself. Lindsay Turst. Turst held up. Now, did the umpires say she was held without the football? Might be against Marion Meter there. Let's see what the umpires adjudicated. Yes, said that you held on to the opponent when she didn't have the football. So Columbus will get the resulting free kick. The umpire, you can hear the crowd in the background calling for deliberate. The deliberate interpretation in Aussie rules is a case of if the player deliberately kicks the ball towards the boundary line without the intention of keeping it in play, even if it bounced over the line or was hand passed over, for example. The umpire said you didn't try to keep the ball in play, you were deliberately trying to take the ball out. It would signal a free kick to the opposition. It's rarely paid. Sometimes in four-quarter matches, it's in the last quarter when teams are trying to keep the ball out to kill the clock and not give up their lead. That's when the umpire may pull out that interpretation. Here's the kick. I think that was by McFarlane. Long. Sent back from whence it came by the Lady Eagles, only for it to be marked. An opportunity for the Columbus Cats. On the left boot. Let's see who can get a clearance out of this. It's in the middle of the ground. I think Marion Meady's chasing after the football. Lost control of it. Coming away, Dempsey. Kicks around the corner. Foot race on here. Who's going to get the football first? I think it's Taylor Duggan. Does well. Got a kick away. Trying to get front posse there. Alan Nielsen. Got knocked over. Has to go back in again. Plenty of support. Ian Welch chasing after the football. And the ball will go over the boundary line and out of bounds, and will call for a throw. And a minute and a half remaining in the first half. No time on being played. Normally in Aussie rules football, it's 4 quarters with time on. That is when a goal is kicked, they stop the clock until the ball is brought back to the middle and the umpire restarts the play. Or when it goes out of bounds, or the umpire asks for a ball up, they'll stop the clock. Or, of course, if there's a serious injury and someone has to be taken off the ground, they'll stop the clock for that, including the blood rule. If there's blood pouring from someone, like a blood nose or a bit of blood on their jumper, then they ask the player to go off the ground to have it fixed up or change of jumpers so there's no blood on their jumper. And the clock is stopped during that time. Of course, here, because we're short on time with the USAFL Nationals, barring a major injury, the clock keeps ticking away for the full 20 minutes and we play just the 2 halves. Good run along the boundary line. The kick is in the direction of Alexandra Pike. Dropped it, had to go back again, all wrapped up. And will the umpire say no for opportunity? And we'll call for the football back. Ball is thrown up. The umpires might have pulled out a free kick. No, he was just waving his arms around. It's Marion Mead to try to get in there. Also getting hands on the football, Bronwyn Smith. Looking around Christine Nguyen. And the ball go over the boundary line and out of bounds. Getting close to half-time. I think he was signalling on the full. Let's see what he's pulled out as the decision. He says on the full, Miriam Meader with the free kick. She's taking the football either way. Clock's counting down. Tries to centre it up to Alexandra Pike. Drop the footy. We've got time expired here. And there goes the hooter. That signals half-time here in the Women's Division 2 match between Columbus and Baltimore-Washington.
My first game, I stood there and I was just like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm just gonna run. I just kept going and I kept going to practice, I kept going to the games, and eventually it just clicked. And I was just like, oh, I get it now, like this is fun.
Aussie rules, is also known as footy, is the equivalent of like the NFL here, and so in Australia they call it AFL.
So in Australia it's a huge sport, especially for the women. It's getting even bigger.
It's empowering for women, young women.
It's really great to just be able to run around and just have so much fun with a bunch of people that love the same sport that you do.
It just gives me this energy that I just can't describe, and it just brings me like so much joy.
It's a great physical outlet, but also the people that we play with are just so amazing.
These are the girls that if you want to dress up and go out, they'll be there for you. If you want to be in your sweatpants all day and eat chocolate and watch Netflix, they're also there for you.
I think that this sport has something for everyone.
I just feel like anyone and everyone should try it, give it a go, and just see if they like it.
If you're watching this video, it's not by accident. This is for you.
Welcome back to Field 3 here at Racine, Wisconsin, the USAFL Nationals Women's Division 2. We are underway in the second half between the Baltimore-Washington Lady Eagles and the Columbus Cats. I'm Peter Holden. Great to have your company for this contest. At the moment, it is a 1-point lead to Baltimore-Washington over Columbus. For those that have just joined our coverage, the Baltimore-Washington Lady Eagles have top-up players from the Des Moines Roosters and Boston Demons joining them. For the Columbus Cats, they have top-up players from the Chicago Swans and Philadelphia Hawks joining them for this year's competition. As we wait for a long kick by the Cats, who are going to the right of screen or the eastern end of the ground. If you want to keep going, the Lake Michigan end of the ground. Ball seen over the boundary line and out of bounds by Christina Sobril, and we'll have a ball in right next to that left-hand point post for the Columbus Cats. As you can hear some commentary in the background that's coming from the right of us, that's Cooper's Field, the main field here at the USAFL Nationals. This year we have 5 fields in play at once. The main field being Cooper's Field. The other field, Field 2, has some streaming on there courtesy of Go Live Sportscast. With our camera, we've got some action here for you from Field 3, and there's also some games being played on Field 4 and 5 further afield. That's a lot of fields. As we have a free kick going the way here at the Columbus Cats, half-forward flank. They're down by 1 point. 18.5 minutes remaining in the match. On the right boot. Here's the kick. I think it's a mark taken. Good mark in defence, Christina Sobril. And she'll elect to play on. One thing that you'll notice that some of the American women do, and some women new to the sport, even in Australia in the lower divisions, is they take a mark or a fair catch and stand behind the player on the mark only like a few centimetres, when really the idea is to run back about 6 or 7 steps to give yourself a couple of metres space and then have a run up into your kick. Because if you're standing there in that spot, you could easily kick it into the player standing on the mark and see a turnover happen. As we speak, a flying shot, a goal, and has it gone out of bounds? Yes, it has. Not registered as a score. So we'll have the ball thrown back into play next to the left-hand point post here at Racine, Wisconsin, as we wait for play to restart. The idea of the boundary umpire is, obviously they signal if the ball's gone out of bounds to the full, or if it's bounced over, and if it's bounced over or being touched over and they throw it back into play, they actually turn their back towards the centre of the ground, so they're not looking at the players, and they throw the ball back in over their own head. The idea, of course, is not to give anyone a fair advantage or to throw it to the advantage of either player. As the ball's in the middle of the ground, hand pass to Saki. Saki on the right boot. Finds, I think that might be Lindsay Turs, who now pumps it inside 50. That's a mark. I reckon it's a mark played to the player in front. Again, if 2 players go up for the ball and they roughly get their hands on it at the same time, the umpire will pay the mark or the advantage to the player at the front of the contest. Now kicks it to Saki, who's gotten free in the pocket. She's calling for it. Received the hand pass courtesy of Smith. It's a grubber of a kick, though. Taylor Duggan goes in there. So does Shearer. And the umpire says Shearer may have gotten to the back there of Taylor Duggan, so a free kick. Duggan now on the left boot. Swings it wide towards the half-back flank position. Turnover. Lindsay Turs, normally a Philadelphia Hawks player, today playing for the Columbus Cats. Tatiana Sullivan sees the ball almost out of bounds near the scoreboard. Stacks on the pill, and the umpire blows the whistle and calls for a ball up. So we'll reset the play once more. 16 minutes remaining in this second half. 1 point lead to Baltimore-Washington over the Columbus Cats. Fighting in hard there, Claudia Hendershaw, normally a Chicago Swans player. Today playing for Columbus. But bouncing football, I think it got there. Was it touched beforehand? The umpire says it is a point. So he's just having a chat there with the field umpire, and they have ruled it as 1 behind by the look of it. So they'll just wave the 1 flag. So that means scores are tied at 1 goal, 2 behinds apiece. Total of 8 points each between Columbus and Baltimore-Washington here at the USAFL Nationals. Now there's a chat going on here. The umpire just making sure that The goal umpire has waved the flag. The score technically isn't official between goal umpires. As much as they might signal one finger to signal that's a point or two fingers to say that's a goal, it's not actually official until after that they've done that, they then wave the flag, because the flag is like a signal between the goal umpires to what the score was. So they can see at each end of the ground. And when they do that, then they mark it down their scorecard as a score. As we talk about it, Columbus have just put one through. The umpire will point two fingers, wave two flags. The crowd will be happy with that, the Columbus crowd. And they now take a 6-point lead here in Women's Division 2 against the Baltimore-Washington Lady Eagles. 2-2-14 to 1-2-8. After Baltimore had held the lead for a good 25 minutes or so, they have now surrendered it to the Cats. Caught napping there. Even us in the commentary position got caught napping. We didn't see that one coming. And now with under 14 minutes to play, it's the Cats who hold a 6-point lead. Going in there, McFarland over the top of the ball. Worrell fights in there. Umpire blows the whistle and calls for a ball up. Clears the way, throws it high in the air. Trying to win it there was Gleason. The umpires pulled out a free kick. Going the way of the Eagles. Can they claw it back? With it is the number 9, Alison Monahan. Normally the Boston Demons, today playing for the Columbus Cats. Going in there. McFarland fights hard. Goes in there one more time. A secondary effort. Dempsey kicks it around the corner. Tries to gain some meters here for Columbus. Trying to make a go of it there was Jennings. Fighting hard there was Pike. Pardon me, was Rebecca Quinn. Saki put it on the right boot. Looking for the intended target there and dropping it, and Bronwyn Smith had to go back again. Tackle laid on there by Catherine Ree. And the umpires pulled out a free kick and signaled it to the Eagles. They're down by 6 points. That's an even goal. Kicks it along up the line. Mark taken. Half-back flank here for the Lady Eagles. Time's ticking away, and they're caught in their own back half. Can they get some rhythm going? Can they get someone to run the ball up the line? Going in there, Holberstadt. Did well to create the pressure. Getting spun around there, Claudia Hendershaw. Worrell trying to chase it down. Holberstadt in there again. Holberstadt goes one more time. In goes Hendershaw. On center wing, out of side. The umpire's blown the whistle. So we'll call for a ball up. Center wing out of side. Away we go again. Tap one on that occasion by Kamali. Out comes Worrell. Kicks it towards the half-forward flank position. Holberstadt charging through. Quinn might have been in there. Right hand pass out. Farland goes after the footy. Jumping in there, Jennings. Couldn't get it out. Now, Dempsey. Back to Saki. Saki on the right. In towards the center wing. Now towards the central corridor, courtesy of Shearer. Oh, Shearer had to fight hard then in that contest with Kristen Lau. And the umpire will call for a ball up. Under 11 minutes remaining in this half. The lead by 6 points with Columbus, but the Eagles are going again. The ball inside their forward 50. And Mita goes for a run. Kicks it up the line. Only for it to be intercepted and sent back by the Columbus Cats. Good footy, good mark. Shannon Mahoney at centre half back. Mahoney with the footy. Gets going now on the right boot. In towards the middle of the ground. Good strong mark there. Kristen Lau, plenty of height. Using it to her advantage. Winds up now on the left boot. Awkward pie floater. But finds a target in Samantha Worrell. Worrell now on the right. And almost hit her target there. Dropping it was Katie Anderson. Had to kick around the corner. Can they get a clear disposal here, the Eagles? They've gone in their forward half, but they're struggling as Holberstadt was over the ball. Dempsey, Maramita goes in there. She's immediately caught by Lindsay Terse. And the umpire is going to call for a ball up. So we'll reset ourselves. The tap, courtesy of Danielle Kamali. Oh, opportunity here for the Eagles. A flying shot, a goal. I think it's through and scores a level. What a game of footy here at the USAFL Nationals Women's Division 2 on Field 3 at the Score Complex. Columbus 2-2-14, Baltimore-Washington 2-2-14. Could we be on our way to a tie? What a game. The Eagles, over the last couple of minutes, you could see they were pushing. They had the ball in the half. They were just waiting for the damn wall to break. And that's what exactly happened. Time clock says we're under 9 minutes. Columbus and Baltimore-Washington all squared up. And in goes Shearer from out of nowhere to lay a tackle and hold up the play, and we'll call for another ball up. High in the air again we go. Taken out of the contest, Danielle Kamali. Try to push it forward like a rugby scrum. Kendall Jennings gets in there. Umpire blows the whistle and says, I'll have the football back, please. Clears the way. Set ourselves. Joanna Gleason doing the rucking here for the Lady Eagles. Shearer over the top of it. Hand pass out. Danielle Kamali just charges the way through. Gave the don't argue. Hand pass off to Lindsay Terse. Terse on the right boot. Awkward kick. Goes inside 50. Held up now. Here's an opportunity. Trying to spin around there was Megan Hills. Gave up the hand pass. Oh, jammed the kick. Lauren Kelly. She tried to get it away. Then lays on a tackle. Was the player held without the football. Umpire threw away the whistle on that occasion. Mahoney. Well, maybe he's finally paid it now. It's just late to it. And it will be a resulting free kick. And the player to take it for the Eagles here. Just looks further afield for options. Kicks it long and high. Now the ball just dribbles to Shearer. Hand pass. Try to get a kick, Gleason. It's partially smothered off the side of the boot. Saki now receives. Kicks inside 50. Oh, player was spoiled by her own teammate running through there. Sullivan well and truly wrapped up. Goes over the boundary line and out of bounds while under pressure by Bronwyn Smith. 7 minutes remaining in the match. 2-2-14 apiece in this Women's Division 2 contest on Field 3. Trying to get in there was Sharon Mahoney. Hills trying to kick around the corner. Tackle all laid on here. Going nowhere was Kendall Jennings. And the umpire's ruling there was you tried to take on too many. You played on, you got caught holding the football. And a 25-metre penalty because Jennings didn't give the ball back to Mahoney. And that's the ruling. You have to give the ball to the player. It's a free kick paid against you and you've got the ball, you have to give it to the player that's been awarded the free kick. If you don't give it to him directly, it is a 25-metre penalty at this level. So, Shannon Mahoney to put the Columbus Cats in front. Any score puts them in front. But a 6-point buffer would be handy. Mahoney kicks the goal. And for the Columbus Cats, they go to 3-2-20. Baltimore-Washington Eagles 2-2-14 here at Racine, Wisconsin and the Score Complex. Hope you're enjoying our coverage here on USAFL.com. Peter Holden with you in commentary for this Women's Division 2 match. The people of Real Racine, the tourist bureau behind the Racine community, have been magnificent hosts for this tournament. I'm sure if they could, they'd turn up the temperature a bit more. It has been a bit cool, but their hospitality has been A+. So we're under 5 minutes remaining. 6-point lead to the Cats over the Eagles. One out there by Gleason. Crash of bodies through the middle. Wanting to get involved there, Nielsen. Couldn't extract the footy. Terse is in there. Now here's a breakaway for the Cats. I think that's Kamali who's got it, who pumps it long inside 50. Running foot race here. Hills tries to hold it up for the Cats. Ball is getting close to the boundary line. Eagles under all kinds of pressure, about 40 out from their defensive goal. Here's a hurry kick away. And it has gone over the boundary line and out of bounds. So they will call for, is that a throw-in? It's just off to the side of camera. And yes, it will be a throw-in at the half-forward flank here. Shearer does the ruck work. Ball hit the deck. Hurry kick off the side of the boot. It's a dribbler. Going in to pick it up there. And getting caught immediately was Terse. Got rid of it. Now, did she get rid of it and get dumped afterwards? Yes, said the umpire. She'll get a free kick. Lindsay Terse. Looking for some options. Gets on the right boots. Goes inside 50. Hand pass. They were trying to find Catherine Ree. Knocked away from her. Hills goes after the footy. Hills now with a hurried left boot kick. And will register as a minus score. That now makes Columbus 3-3-21. Baltimore-Washington 2-2-14. Makes it difficult now for the Lady Eagles. That means they need 2 scoring shots minimum to either tie or hit the front. With 3 minutes remaining here in this second half. It's a free kick being given to the Cats here. Deep in the forward pocket. Leap being offered by Bronwyn Smith. Ignored. They go longer for the top of the goal square. Oh, did it clear the pack? I think it did. It's a goal for Columbus. That'll be the ball game, in my opinion. That extends the lead out to 13 points. 4-3-27 to 2-2-14. It's going to be incredibly difficult now for the Lady Eagles to win this one. Columbus, who were behind for a majority of the game, turned it around here in the second half. The Lady Eagles will be wondering what could have been. This last 10 minutes have been Cats' dominance. 2 minutes remaining in the match. Trying to make a go of it, Stablin. Kicks it inside 50. Awkward bouncing ball. Halberstadt running after it. Tries to hold it up. Support from Stablin. Going in there for the Cats, Beniarski. Nice tackle laid on. Caught with the ball then, Alexandra Pike. And the umpire will award a free kick. I think that's Lauren Bosley that laid the tackle there. Goes quickly on the right. Up towards centre wing on the outer side of the ground. And the ball will go over and out. Did it go on the full or will be a throw-in? A throw-in according to the bound. No. One boundary umpire chatting to the other boundary umpire. He says, yeah, it will be a throw-in. So back into play. Gleason to do the rucking. Brings it down. Whoop, the Eagles player going to ground there. Jennings will be sat upon immediately. Had to get rid of the hand pass. Trying to create the pressure there, Christina Nguyen. Going after the football then, Beniarski. And the ball goes over and out. We'll have another boundary throw in. Danielle Kamali going up against up against Joanna Gleason. Going in to lay the tackle there, Lauren Kelly. Ball spilled out. Foot race on here, who can get it first. And it is the 23, Samantha Worrell, who did. And the umpire said it's holding the football. In fact, it was the 20, pardon me, Kristen Lau. Excuse me. Free kick to the Columbus Cats with under 30 seconds remaining. 13-point lead to Columbus. They're going to come out victors in this match here on Field 3 at the Score Complex in Franksville, very close to Racine, Wisconsin. Ball at the half-forward flank. Took on the player. Dempsey may have caught one high. The umpire will give her the resulting free kick. As that's time expired on our clock. And there's the hooter. Game over here at Racine, Wisconsin. It is the Columbus Cats 4-3-27 defeating the Baltimore-Washington Lady Eagles 2-2-14.